commanders of Umkhonto Wesizwe at the time. Because during negotiations, the issue of armed struggle, the decision was taken by Mandela, and the collective came after to say some armed struggle has been suspended. You'll find them in golf courses playing golf with the same enemy. It's not something new from now. They did it long ago. Some they even own golf courses outside South Africa. They've got big tournaments in their golf courses outside South Africa. Because of what?
Who are these people?
First is Sphiwe Nyanda. I know he's got a golf something there, so check the issues around Mkhwanazi. If you'll go deep, these issues started with Stratcom. So they are still killing our revolutionaries. Now, we don't have to go on Toy. They will, they've got everything. They will kill you from your house. We didn't fight against Ubaba. We didn't challenge him. Only the white people and those who were selling out. Yeah, man. Those ones I can quote their names. I don't care because I have seen them selling out. Basibiza ngabo 101. Abanye basibiza nge yini.
Mashiane Politically Incorrect. The last time we met Commandant Tony was at the TUT while we were preparing for, you were giving a political lecture there.
Yes.
And amongst the things that we promised each other is we'll find time to sit in studio so we can unpack in various issues, including why do you think it's important for the current youth to receive political education, and of course paint a picture of how was Soweto during those very difficult times. Let's start with your titles, your name and your surname, and what does it mean to lead MK in the provincial legislature? Lead us on that. Thanks.
No, my name is Thabang Nkani. Popular known currently as Ntondoni. In my township, they will call me Comrade Mashiane. And my combat name is Charles Mutla. My first combat name was Slovo Pahai. My second combat name was Chuchis.
Slovo Mahai.
Pahai. Then my second combat name was Chuchis. Then Chief Solake didn't like it.
Okay.
And he gave me Charles.
Okay.
Then I was Charles Mutla.
So Tony worked?
Tony came when, as military ex-combatant, of course. We had Sharp 17. The generals visited us after a long strike around issues of MKVA, mismanagement of money and other things. So they wanted to take us to some courses to upgrade ourselves, of which it was a good thing. But during that time, I told them that you packed us in Valmastal, and you gave us Sabo 7 ton. And someone was speaking. Then I said, what? Then KV mixed then Tony and what? It was loud. What? Then he would say, you like what? Tony. Then the name started carrying on. Yeah.
What do you feel about that integration in Valmastat? I spoke to a few ex-military competents. They were not happy about the process. I spoke to Mzogisi, I spoke to Uncle Fred, and I spoke to others who I did not say would not speak on camera, and they felt that it was we did not negotiate from a position of power. It was almost as if the freedom fighters from African political parties were made a favor to join there, and hence all of these difficult qualification processes. How do you generally feel about it?
In fact, it was not even a favor. We were compromised.
Ish.
The issue is, in MK we have got different kinds of detachment. I remember the Lutuli detachment, they went in exile 1961. When they came back 1991, already they have missed a 30-year period. And uzofika endlini sekunabachana, some they couldn't even identify their homes and so forth. Those things were not taken into considerations. And while we are different generations, remember we are the last generation of MK ourselves. When we went, we were already politically equipped. We knew what is it that we were doing. And the majority of us, we left school. We didn't declare ourselves to say, after freedom, we need to be soldiers. We were fighting for freedom so that we'll upgrade ourselves and go to various professions that we'll choose. That thing was never taken care of. Instead, President Mandela instructed Colonel Painter to say those who doesn't want to succumb to the conditions of Valmastal, they must pack and go. That was an answer. And when we came back from our homes, some got 50 rands for a taxi. Myself, I got 350. I was lucky. So, different remunerations just of taking yourself from airport to your home. And it ended there. After it was according to Valmastal.
It's very difficult to leave this matter. So, do you feel betrayed by the position that Mandela, well, it's not Mandela per se, because when they decided on abandoning armed struggle, they knew it wasn't going to end well. And among the other things, they knew what is going to happen. And this forced integration that I spoke about, I think they thought of it. And do you feel betrayed by Mandela or what Mandela had to say?
I feel betrayed by the commanders of Umkhonto at the time. Because during negotiations, the issue of armed struggle, the decision was taken by Mandela. And the collective came after to say some armed struggle has been suspended. Secondly, when they suspend armed struggle, there were issues that were not addressed. We raised our concerns that no, we are not here to be soldiers full-time, but we need to have some careers. Instead, some of course closed. We were not taken to school while we were in exile. We had to look after the camps and so forth. No energy on education while we were reading among ourselves. Remember, I left school at a young age. I was not educated. English was a very difficult thing during our times because the system of education will make it difficult for you to understand English or speak it fluently. They wanted to force us to Afrikaans and so forth, so there were so many kinds of these languages. And we were reading books there, but without any profession or certification. We were compromised. When they were negotiating, we will follow all the decisions of CODESA, talks about talks to CODESA. We'll even send our recommendations on other issues. The leaders who were visiting us, there were few. Among them, you'll have your Lambert Moloi, Ebiliso Nolo, Joe Modise, and Joe Modise will always tell us lies and force us to do some of the things on those threats. But AB will come as a commissar, give us hope and so forth. So many leaders were involved on those negotiations, and we will give recommendations, as I said. And we'll follow the CODESA, what is happening today, what was the discussion today, and so forth and so forth. We understand the compromises that they have made, and we felt that all those compromises will be addressed by the two-thirds majority. We hope we'll get two-thirds majority. But what Mandela did, when we get 66%, two-thirds majority according to the constitution or the agreement of CODESA is 66.6%. At first the Boers, they wanted 73%. We said no, we'd rather go back to arms struggle. I think this is one of the things when the ANC pulled out of CODESA to discuss those things. So 66.6 was the met. We got 66%. PAC got some percentages. I think it's 4 or 5 there. Azapo got some seats. But we didn't think. Mandela just thought of a GNU, the same mentality with his secretary currently. So this thing of a GNU has manipulated the system in favor of our enemy. We as Umkhonto Wesizwe, there were negotiations taking place in Harare, the JMCC, Joint Military Management Council, which was led by the Chief of Staff, the previous Chief of Staff, Krizani. So the delegation was under Krizani, and they didn't agree. And Chris has mapped out how it's supposed to be. And the meeting collapsed after Chris died. Then people just signed anything to sell us out. We were just sold out. We were compromised to say, give us land, give us money. They took farms and other remunerations. Some they went on owning mines and so forth on our expense to say, no, we'll dissolve MK in a polite manner. If you can check.
Just hold. So these freedom fighters who were your leaders, they promised a dream to the wise to say, we'll collapse MK, because there were packs waiting for them if they suspend this armed struggle and until it collapsed, of course. Is that what you are setting?
Yes, I believe so. You'll find them in golf clubs. You'll find them in golf courses playing golf with the same enemy. It's not something new from now. They did it long ago. Some they even own golf courses outside South Africa. They've got big tournaments in their golf courses outside South Africa because of what?
Who are these people?
First is Sphiwe Nyanda. I know he's got a golf something there in Swaziland where he was operating from Swaziland, where many kids died or arrested on that line. I cannot have many answers, but as we live, we get this information and they are frustrating to us.
It's painful.
It's painful because we are suffering. We know that something, Mandela didn't do everything bad. There was something good. He created MKVA and he funded that. And he gave a direction that invest this money to sources. We can't even point a cent. But when you go to political prisoners, Mandela gave them a smaller portion than the portion that he gave to MK. But each and every December, they've got some shares. Even when they are small, but it's DMV, it's some shares. So there's a thin line between a political prisoner and ourselves. And there's this thing of undermining generations that it's happening. I don't think our parents, they are speaking about youth, but they don't like the youth. And that has joined them later. They don't like us. Even those political prisoners of our age, they don't give them anything.
So, what time did you leave and what was the name of your detachment? And what was the country like? Because I want us, when you plot all these stories for, so you can come back, you could tell us how was your township, how was Soweto when you came?
I'm from Davidton.
You're from Davidton?
Yes.
Did you participate in Soweto politics?
Yes, I participated. Davidton, it's one of the unique countries during our time.
Yeah.
We fought so many battles in different areas. Davidton was like a military base on its own. Because when you joined, remember, I'm just a young man who saw people singing nice. And when I wanted to join, my mother said no. And my grandpa said, yes, go and join them. Then I went, joined. I sang with the comrades. It was nice for a day. Already I've tested tear gas before I joined them on the march. 2 months later, my grandma died.
Yes, sir.
Then we had to hustle. You don't want to associate yourself now. You'll believe with Nemo, we clever, you must go to town, break a white man's house and get something. But when I started to see they're taking a pay carry, everyone is creepy. I joined. Said, no man, don't come to town, you'll die. Let me take this thing, this opportunity. Then we see the target, they are my target. Then I started to take them every day, and some comrades started to notice, no man, not every day is not a stairway today. People, they must get bread and so forth and so forth. Yeah. Then you start about and yes. Later on, you begin to understand, because those who have identified you would say, look, comrade, energetic, boomer target, can wake up, no more take say me, you'll perform your revolutionary work. It started there. Yeah. I was lucky to have good comrades around me who will give me direction, who will encourage me to go to school, who will make me understand why life has changed since Ikogo. Because when my grandpa died on the same year, my grandfather went on pension. And I'm not a son of a mother and a father. They are living their own life. They are still young. Life is difficult, but I managed. We managed, with the help of our comrade, of course. Mankulu will come later on. I build then a tax shop and I could not help, because the revolution was moving. This thing, it's when you think of that time, everyone will say, yes, and I remember very vividly, with 1984, 85, everyone was there. But when the state of emergency was declared 1985, people started to surrender. Huh. And we are only a few of us. I even left my township, Davidton, to stay in Katlehong. But because something was in me, I also started to join comrades in Katlehong when we were fighting gangsters. When the primary school where I was in, there was a gangster next to us. We had to fight those battles with some comrades. Of course, they were not political, they were just supporting to say this thing is not the right of gangsterism and so forth. And that's why the system started to work on some issues, recruiting our members, and we had to go on underground. I had to leave Katlehong again, came back to Davidton. Underground started. Comrades will go to various points for a meeting, different points. Sometimes you'll just get a letter, you'll find a meeting where only 3 or 4 are going to be briefed with as the line for tomorrow. The issue of pamphlet was not an easy thing. You'll never just issue pamphlets anywhere, go to a taxi rank or so for the... Plus that time they were not taxi rank because all taxis were pirates. They were just mashesha.
Sure.
So you'll make sure you take those pamphlets, to try to put them somewhere, drop them on the street so that people, when they wake up in the morning, you've got your pamphlet to indicate tomorrow it's a stairway or next week it's consumer boycott and so forth. Everything was not easy. And during those demonstrations, there were no parents. It was youth. We managed to strengthen COSATU as youth. We managed to form civic associations, different civic associations. Your Dayton Civic Association, your Soweto Katlewo. We managed to form CYCO. And we had to recruit workers to come and participate in the townships and to join the struggle.
Did you target beer halls?
Yes, we've targeted beer halls. I think those were senior than me. But in some instances, we were involved. That was the decision of MTM to say our parents will stay in beer halls while the country is messed. You'll have Abu Fanroy, those who were checking your pass, your Tom pass and so forth, and they will tell you, no, you are not supposed to be in Davidton. We are supposed to be at Whiteville. What is it that you have permission for you? Those things were not correct. And we said, we can't live in a demarcated area while white people, they move everywhere they want. And our grandpas, our fathers, they are sitting in Mapareni. So we had to target beer halls. There were no, of course there were shippings, small shippings. They were illegally, so you'll never target that. You'll target the big chunk. We take them out. We have taken them out, all of them.
How do you leave them? Or were you trained within the country?
No, I was trained within the country politically. I was trained to move on underground. I was not yet on armed struggle by the time. In fact, it was armed struggle because the weapon I used was petrol bomb. And different kinds of petrol bomb, of course, but all target areas. The issue of came late when I was about to leave the country. Yeah.
So when do you leave?
I left the country in 1989.
Do you have comrades that are they comrades that you still that you left with who are still alive?
Yeah, in my unit, I think it's St. Paul, Poston, and in my unit only one person died.
Which route did you use? Swaziland.
There was something, most of the people around Gauteng PWV, they were using Botswana. I don't know why we were taken to Swaziland, but we had to meet most comrades from KZN. That's when I started to meet comrades from KZN, making relationships, start to know one another. And KZN was in me, even my region currently, even long ago. From long, you'll find with our political way of doing things. We think alike with comrades from KZN. We are committed in a revolution. As I said, my township was like a military base. We'll have different units participating in different townships. And in our township, we'll fight to the lad to say this will never happen in Davidton. Then we'll find units in Davidton moving to Soweto, Tutuza, Secunda, Ratanda, and so forth. But when the problem arises and we'll meet again, we'll match in Davidton, then we'll say the big problem is in Wandebele. Bunabo Batinda Bobaba in Bowoto. They won't go there. All you need will convert and go there. And we fought a good fight, especially in Gwandebele. We defeated Timbowodo and so forth, but still have comrades. Their remains are not found even today.
When do you come back, and are you happy at because there were talks that you were speaking about, like the Harare talks, I mean the Krutoskir minutes, there were lots of talks, and they culminated into Kodwesa 1 and 2. And just around that time, Chris Hani is taken out, and then we were at the brink of a civil war, IFP ANC. So I grew up in the north parts of Limpopo. We were not affected a great deal by the problems of hostel dwellers and ANC IFP. We just knew that hostels are dangerous, but we did not feel it as people in the East End, Soweto, and other people. Having come from the East End, how was it? Were you already back at the time, and what was your participation, and how difficult was it to mobilize an area like Davidton? This is where, while ANC lived, because we're in the East End, even IFP lived, and it had strong bases. How was it like for you?
No, I remember it started when some of us were still inside the country.
So you came back to something that you already knew?
We knew that the system. This fight was not all about Inkatha and ANC, because the ANC was banned at the time. It was about people who were influencing others to fight others so that they create black violent. It was black on black violent. Created, and they started to influence certain groups. Some will be influential to Inkatha, some will be influential to the community.
Who was sponsoring those things?
I think that the Third Force. Because even if you check in some documentaries, they were trained in somewhere in Namibia, and they were sponsored by Saraf. They were also sponsored, they enjoyed time with UNITA. Remember, the bandits were fighting Angola. I remember South Africa also wanted to capture Angola. The Boers, not South Africa, the Boers wanted to capture Angola.
Do you know a place called Skitoch in Palabora?
No, I don't know that place.
So there were a contingent of Angolans who lived there, and people still associate those people with those who took down the flight of the plane of Samora Machel, and they were used, as you say, the Third Force. Those people were assassins during that difficult times, and that's why people could not account if this was ANC-led or IFP-led, but it was used, as you say, Third Force, and people associate Third Force with the National Party government, instructions, of course, given by F.W. de Klerk. So I want us, if you can, maybe put names to this Third Force. Who was orchestrating this Third Force?
The Third Force was sponsored by the Nissan boss, the apartheid system. We were calling them what? CCP. Those were the security systems of the apartheid, because they always plan ahead. Even now they are planning ahead. When you can check the issues around Mkwanas, if you go deep, this issue started with Stratcom. So they are still killing our revolutionaries now. We don't have to go into it. They will, they've got everything. They will kill you from your house. They will do anything. Remember, when they were negotiating, there's a thin line, small hood, not to place the hate history. Among the hate history, it's a revolution of our time. It's not anywhere. You'll never find it on Google. They will stop the revolution from 1976. Then they'll speak with some operations. Some are not counted. The revolution of age limit that started 84. You will count Helter Peterson who died at the age of 14. I will count Joyce Nzama from where I stayed, in my own street, where everything was happening. Joyce Nzama was 9.
9 years old.
Yeah, and was shot at close range.
Was he a participant or an innocent bystander?
He's an innocent bystander, but killed directly. It has be ash lot.
Yes.
Yeah, but from
with the lead of a dust.
Yeah, when Magafi has been in Ipunulwana the smoke. Lamshange 38.
Ish. Close.
Very close. Yeah, Lamshange 38 straight.
Only night.
The matter, even Namanja has not got the justice.
So the family went to TRC?
Yeah, the family went to TRC. I believe those who were leaders during TRC, they didn't want eyewitnesses to come and testify. Yeah.
So Ramaphosa reopens an inquiry into the delays of prosecution of the TRC. I don't even know how to phrase this. Is he reopening TRC? Is he giving people chances who were not happy with TRC to participate? And will it help? Do you see people, especially white people, who were unrepentant, who participated in atrocities of our people, especially a case like that?
Yes.
So the police would know who pulled that trigger.
They know exactly. But remember, they said, no, he was hit by a passing rubber bullet. While eyewitnesses like me,
Yes.
I know that my aunt died. Will know that no, it's a small revolver that killed Joyce Nzama close to the gate. We've got so many during 80s, so many young people who died. Patrick Pala, I think, was somewhere around 13 or so. You've got Abu Makanda, Abu Malbon. So they will place that because there were so many massacres. It was a country of genocide. If you will count your 1985 specifically, we are 86, you see different genocide made in the country. People will die in hundreds in one day. Tinach, you live a massacre. Davidson massacre. You live a massacre in Guatemala, massacre side by side. And that history is nowhere.
They're not telling us that part of our difficult time.
So we are just a generation. We're like a lost generation. And when I asked to Ukotemantasha Masise Setema when they were campaigning for CR17. I asked what's happening around this history. He said, you funding. You must raise it. And into because when you raise it, but awusese ikhosas kumele ireason ngabantwana. So I must, for this history to be there, I must go to the young kids of Khosas to tell them so that they will raise it with the ANC, and the ANC leadership will, if it comes from me, you see. So you can see these people are no longer in politics. They are just playing politics. Yeah, man. Our brothers died for nothing. Then who am I to say I leave it? Then if I leave it now, I'm a sellout.
What's a sellout? I just want to understand what's a sellout and who is a sellout. Joe Modise was a commander of MK. There are people who see him as a sellout. There are people who feel that he allowed infiltration and he participated in the infiltration. And of course, even Mandela is seen as such. What is a sellout? What did you define as someone who's a sellout, and what is an askari? What are examples of askaris? Because all these words we hear, but what did, for you, I'm struggling, what did it define a sellout as? What did it define an askari as? And the examples of askaris in society, who are they? Like, for example, the most famous one would be Chuma Masela. This is an example of what we know as an askari. But who are these people?
Yeah, in fact, a sellout is someone who's no longer working for a revolution, but is working for the other side.
Who is turned against the revolution.
Yeah, man. So those who are still within, I don't think I've left Umkhonto when Umkhonto was disbanded. I'm in that position to say this one is a sellout, that one is, I'm a younger generation. I won't point fingers, but those who went to Askar, they are sellouts. Yeah, but sellout, there's something that I also want to understand in my view. Some of them, they were sold out. And they didn't take that pain to say, yeah, let me die for it. Yeah, but they choose to join the other side. So of course there are sellouts who sold them out. But it's not of my space. Yeah, man. I understanding my rank, my knowledge in Umkhonto is not my space to say I'll come open and say this one is a sellout, that one is a sellout. No. I have some reservations, but I would prefer to keep them to myself. Yeah, man. Not to go in public to say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
The initial question I asked was, what does it entail to lead MK Umkhonto Wesizwe party in the Gauteng legislature?
Yeah, it's something that I'll have to do. To me, it's a responsibility. It's a call. Call from our people, a call from God, call from our president to Umsholos, whom I believe in too much. Yeah. Because the formation of Umkhonto was not just a thing. We were betrayed and we stayed years and years. You know. Some people will say, Umsholos Marawa president, what happened? You know. But if you can check the programs Ubaba came with during his time when he was a president, your PEE and other things, which have been reversed currently. Most of the things have been reversed. The infrastructure development, your World Cup and other things. You will see which the president had the vision. That is why we didn't fight against Ubaba. We didn't challenge it. Only the white people and those who were selling out. Yeah, man. Those ones I can quote their names. I don't care because I have seen them selling out. Basbiza ngabo 101. Abanye basbiza Save South Africa. And those were the sellouts. different NGOs that were funded to create South Africa as if our the people of South Africa complaining about. And Ubaba was enjoying a big support. Voted by 62%. Numbers were out to cast their vote during first time and second time. I know there was some precedent before Ubaba where there was a less vote. We got 73% and it was challenged, it is not a legal two-thirds majority. Because people didn't want to go and vote, to cast their vote. As they didn't see any freedom or anything, or anything directing to freedom. People were demoralized. When Ubaba came, the country changes. The atmosphere changed during that time. And everyone was proud to cast his vote.
So, the constitution of MK says, so if you lead the party politically, you cannot be deployed unless Ubaba says so. And now on the ground, I've found lots of complaints, and people would have said Mary Party can lead in the provincial legislature and of course in the party at the same time. These powers must be shared. And when I was with Advocate Mkhwebane, I raised that as an example to say, in Gauteng, what we have political leadership of MK, and we've got leadership of MK leading themselves in the Gauteng legislature, and this is consistent with the MK constitution, what the people have now termed the fluid constitution. What makes these special conditions for Ubaba to say, oh, we're not on this one can lead, or we're not on this one can lead? So why is it special in other places? They remove Mary Party, but Advocate Mkhwebane is still a leader in the party and of course in the provincial legislature. What is the difference? Because people see it when they comment about your party, they say it's inconsistencies.
Yeah, remember, when we raised that view, we were raising it before we went to elections. Okay. Because we wanted to take the country, of course, with two-thirds majority and separate the powers. But you must understand, in politics, you'll never speak of consistency and other things and try to push political ideas to take that route. You've got your strategy. The strategy cannot be changed. And you've got tactics. Tactics can be reviewed at any time. That's why you'll have your policy conference and so forth. But you won't change the strategy. So those were tactics to say it will be better like this. But you'll find in some instances where you see, no, this thing will open a certain gap. You need to align and realign and so forth. So you'll change your tactics and come with a better tactic that will align. Then the party at a certain stage will announce some of the things. But you must understand, it's not a strategy, something that you never change, or a police.
Okay. Coming from Polokwane after the resounding victory of Comrade Ketlehisa, his proponents were speaking about two centers of power as something very dangerous. And just after elections, everyone in Gauteng was touting you to become Gauteng number one. Politically and otherwise, because of course at the time there was no fluid constitution and Hoover had not happened. People were expecting you to be the leader of Gauteng MK. But now there's a convener Witness Nyembe, and then there's a coordinator, Comrade Khonyuza, and they are leading MK politically, and you are leading MK that side. Do you not feel that creates two centers of power? Because I have in the past spoken and I was engaged in processes where, like Comrade Pamgan, during the time they were leading, there was a time they felt that you wielded so much power in the province that it would be difficult for them to operate politically because everything was centered around the legislature. These two centers of power coming from Polokwane 2007, do you not think it's coming back to affect MK, or you don't see two centers of power in this arrangement?
No, as much as I've said, the tactics always change. It must be guided by the political environment and your political programs.
Okay.
And how do you move with your programs? What is it that we are challenging? The strength of our opposers, I would say enemies.
Opposition.
And those who are opposing us, who's fit for what? So,
okay.
Even currently, I'm only at the legislature.
Yes.
Working with comrades. We depend on a tactic, how to approach the situation.
So you still wield a lot of power and influence in Gauteng. As I said, there's Zuma versus Ramaphosa issue, and it's taking place as we speak, and there are going to be a match. You are calling the whole of Gauteng to come and support this, or how do I say it? You are coming to defend the Commander General of MK against the system. What has drawn this cry for help, to call all branches to come and send their people to come and picket?
In all our court cases, our people, as busy as we have never issued any transport to any court case. People are coming because they believe in MK, they believe in justice. So the issue, tomorrow's case, it's about the judicial inquiry. We're challenging another issue around Mkwanasi.
Is it not the issue of Jacob Zuma versus Ramaphosa?
No, it's about Mkwanasi. Even that one of Jacob Zuma versus Ramaphosa, I think.
Yes.
We are still going to follow it up because we believe with the Ramaphosa is a white man egg.
What is that? What does that mean? What is so he's a blue-eyed boy.
Yeah, he's sitting in the comfort head. He's fighting the comfort revolution.
Yes.
They wanted to disorientate our people with lies.
Is it not the attendance of constitutional case of MK party and the President Jacob Zuma case against Cyril Ramaphosa? Is it the one that you are attending to?
No, tomorrow it's about the judicial inquiry case.
Judicial inquiry, the one that starts at 11.
Yeah, at 11.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got an invitation.
Yeah, the way it's written, it says 30 July from 11 o'clock, there's a court appearance of Umkhonto Sizwe Party and President Zuma against Cyril Ramaphosa and his group that comprises of Senzo Mchunu, Gwede Mantashe, Firoz Kachalia, and the active Justice Mbuyiseli Matlanga. All members of MK are expected to attend this court case. This is a call by Umkhonto Sizwe Party against the Commission of Inquiry, the appointment of Kachalia and Mantashe as ministers.
So you see, it's an appointment of Kachalia around the inquiry from Mkwanasi.
Okay, so this process, you are going to use the other thing that you are unhappy about to go and pick it on.
Yes, we are challenging this one. We are calling on our members to come. We are asking and will challenge this issue.
MK has taken to the streets their displeasure in the way they see the treatment of Nkandla Mkhwanazi. Now there are charges against him. They involve abduction, arson, and all of those things. What would happen if should subs start disciplinary proceedings against Mkhwanazi? Are you going to mobilize people to go back to the streets again?
Yes. You know, we have seen it within South Africa. Brutality is always there. They've taken our president to prison without trial. And justice has just failed the justice.
Yeah.
I've seen justice failing the justice. We started to hear of new laws. And those laws, we believe with the all 3 spheres of government, if you're about to change the laws, they must be involved. But it seems as if the justice system, if they don't have something, they impose something. And I believe it's uncalled for.
MK party in Parliament of South Africa, and I know you are based here in Gauteng, in Parliament of South Africa, has portfolios, and I can tell you, Jacob is doing a very good job there, leading it from there, and also Colin Makubela, and they've given somewhat, in politics they call it shadow ministries. So this one will take care of this ministry, and these comrades are starting to speak out to the media, and it's something that we as journalists would enjoy. For example, if you think Mkhwanazi issue, you'd think Comrade Kosana would speak about that, and this is what we enjoy. Do you have a similar approach in Gauteng for us to say, if you are talking about roads and something, then Mashiane go and speak to this comrade? If we've got some sort of a shadow MEC, are you having such kind of an arrangement in the province?
As I said, the tactics are not the same sometimes.
Yeah.
Remember, in Gauteng, we are 8 different committees, but our members are involved in their committees. They participate. We have never yet started the issue of going too much on media.
Okay.
Because we are still aligning ourselves with all this. And hope will go to that stage when it's necessary to do so.
Yes. How many are you in the provincial legislature?
We are 8.
8. And so you do not have designated...
You'll find one member with 4 portfolios,
yes,
times 6.
Yes.
We'll share different portfolios, but we are working on those, and our job is tight.
So whenever
as you speak as MEA, there's a training.
Yes, I remember.
So
you split yourselves, so that's why it's important to have more.
Always split ourselves. So the issue of media is centered to one person. We've got our spokesperson, and myself. When it's necessary to do so, I take the questions from the media.
So, Comrade Debulda speaks for the party
for the party,
and then who speaks for?
It's Honorable Bafana Mahlala.
Okay, so with such issues, so if I call you to say, man, Comrade Tontoni, assist us, we need comment from MK on this issue in Gauteng, you'll be able to know this one, talk to this comrade.
Yes.
All right.
No, we're not just taking things easy as we think. The issue, there are so many issues that we need to address. You look Google justice system in Germany, they create laws, but I still need, where is that power? Of saying if there's no, they have refused our president to stand the position of being a president for elections, president-elect. while there was no law around it.
Well, but they were.
They created a law. The case was won in the High Court. It went to Constitutional Court. Constitutional Court, there was the interpretation.
Yeah, they're not creating a law. They are testing the legality.
No, the interpretation. When a weight was changed into many weights. So they have created a dictionary, a new dictionary for South Africa.
Yeah.
And they have created a law around that. So it's not only creating the explanation of the weight.
Would you be happy if Thabo Mbeki becomes the president of South Africa again?
If Thabo Mbeki wants to contest that space, is allowed. But our president was taken out for being a president-elect. Using wrong definitions.
Yeah.
Our justice system can go that far. It was more of an emergency case. It was taken to a certain date. So our justice system will still need to scrutinize the powers.
So, Umkhonto Sizwe Party, when it was formed around 16 December, the launch, of course, 2023, a lot of freedom fighters were happy, ex-combatants were very happy, because it gave hope to what we call military veterans to finally have a political party that will take care of their interest. And I've since spoken to a lot of MK Party people who feel somewhat disappointed that ever since that time, civilians, those with money, have came in and overtook them because they can buy privileges because they've got deep pockets that our military veterans do not have, and it has left many in destitute. Have you yourself, in your personal capacity, have other former military men approach you, military men and military women approach you about their dissatisfaction, where you had to calm them down to say, Makawani, it's not going to be easy, but let's fight and let's fix it?
As we speak, in my township, I've lost one of our fallen heroes who fought side by side. Is the member of MK Party. That man died with nothing. He only have the parents' house. The comrades are dying hungry to their bone. But the issue now is, we just came from the Ikeda's assembly of military veteran. I didn't manage to attend it because of the commitment. As I said, I belong into many things around the province. So the issue of military veteran is taken care of by MK, but is their hope. Is their hope. Just people will interpret it in different ways. We know with he came into the party, started to influence people. I was once in one meeting where some comrade out of nowhere said, "Aksi party, I'm a military veteran. I'm a military veteran."
Ish.
They didn't even know that I'm a military veteran.
Ish.
We had to correct such things because, what the poorest did when they were damaging our brains. They take communication away from us and they spreaded rumors so that we'll talk and not communicate. Hearing is a gift from God, of course, but they've taken away listening skills.
So this Mzana, is it Floyd Shibambu?
So
yeah. Okay.
People were hypnotizing our people.
Yeah. But are the military veterans happy?
they won't behave until they won their battle. Because there's a specific battle for military veterans. It's written in the Constitution. It's written, it's there. It's a law, there's a law around military veterans, yes, which is our government is not implementing.
There was a time where ministers, were held hostage. Were you part of those skirmishes?
No, I was not there, but I supported those comrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are my comrades.
Do you feel this betrayal was deliberate, disrespectful, and downright embarrassing for our people who fought for this country, and now you have civilians in power where yourselves have to beg?
I've seen a demonstration of demonstration of selling out. It was on public media when the ministers called for a meeting. It was a march, and comrades were not allowed to return back to KZN. They said they will have a meeting. They arranged the venue. They have just arranged, paid for the venue, paid for everything. They go to a meeting and they claim to be kidnapped also. How do you call that? They wanted to charge our comrade to treason. But people who deserve to be charged in prison, they are not. Our country is being sabotaged. Your electricity, your robots, your everything. And those people, when they got arrested, they are charged of damaging a property, or sometimes they just go out from the police station because there's no complainant. Someone must come to the police station and say, I'm the owner of the robots. You see these things. So our justice system is not protecting South Africa.
Yes.
It's protecting a certain book for a certain elites. They are just playing mind game with our lives.
I want to ask you this question. There's a gentleman that, because I don't have his permission, I'm not going to say his name, but he said this in public. I'll tell you off camera. He spoke of how it was difficult, even if it was agreed among the soldiers that you must feed yourselves, find a way of feeding yourselves. And there was a new generation of Bukomtsotsi. And Bukomtsotsi would have been those who the system kicked them out, because not everyone was integrated back into Sandaf. Others were left out, and they had training, they had ways of making money, and they used their weapons to make money for themselves. And it was a very difficult point in time. And like I say, I'll tell you after this, because I'm still trying to get that gentleman to come to speak on the podcast. I want you to define what is Comrade Tsotsi. During that time, the difficult times of, because Comrade Tsotsi has never changed, and people are saying even political killings are a part of Comrade Tsotsi, and in fact, even in exile there were Comrade Tsotsis. Is Comrade Tsotsi a portion to a certain part of our struggle, or it continues until today? And what is Comrade Tsotsi?
When we started, I said there will be this thing of Comrade Tsotsi, because people, but in my understanding, political is a discipline kid. Utsotsi. Comrade.
Yeah.
If Utsotsi, we have just chosen to Utsotsi is your choice.
Yeah.
Comrade. And this thing of Heist, Ashaiwa, I'm a military veteran, it's a lie. Ashawa was general Wamapoiso. Ashawa Bantaba top. Every military veteran who has tried. Like South Africa, you cannot hit a heist. Yeah, man. Because every comrade who wanted to try that thing, they were arrested. Why?
Because it's their
the security of the country. As I said, when it started, we were compromised. The security of the country, ainandaba criminal, ikatama kerila.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I still want to know these political killings. I still need to follow. I still need to follow those things, because Ama-guerrilla tight nje. Tight haphazardly. Once you don't take care of your security surrounding, you'll lose your life.
There was a signal jammer that cost around 7 million. I don't know which conference it was, but I think it must be around CR17.
CR17.
That signal jammer cost around 7 million, but it was bought at 49 million. There was a huge story, and of course, the motivation was there are foreign interest in ANC conference, and SAPS used it as an excuse to buy the signal jammer, and it got the president of SAP at the time it's a Popro SAP, I can't remember, but I just want to understand what is the interest of South African police into the runnings of our politics in South Africa.
South African police, I don't think they have any interest. They are working for someone's interest.
Or someone in government or in business is using SAPS.
In government, in other countries and so forth, because the last conference which I attended, and President Jacob Zuma was a delegate also, drones were flying all over. Drones were flying all over the conference. And
this is when the money came in ambulances.
Yes. Our people had money. I was the poor of the poorest because of my loyalty.
Yeah. So you did not eat there?
Zero. Not up.
Okay. Yeah, you can be kind enough to close the podcast for us. What is it that we're going to have besides the campaign that you are having tomorrow? What are the things that are coming for Gauteng? Is Gauteng ready? And which municipalities do you think are in Gauteng that you are targeting?
We're targeting
for 2026.
We're targeting all municipalities as equal. We need.
But where do you think your power is?
No, our power, it's on our mind and on the ground.
Do you think you can take a Kuruleni? Because this is where most of you are.
No, I stay in Kuruleni. Yeah, but people of Kuruleni are not satisfied. They are dissatisfied.
So can you take a Kuruleni?
We'll take all.
I don't think you're going to take Tshwane. This is just me.
Yeah.
Tshwane is not gettable by anyone. No one is going to get 50.
Yeah, but we believe when we get into the crowd and explain ourselves, who are we? Who are we?
Okay.
Everyone must understand that MK is not funded by the same system that we are fighting.
Okay, let me drop these things and then you tell me possible performance. Let's start with Tshwane, of which I believe is going to be your most difficult. What's the best you can do? 20%? 25%?
No. We are going to the ground, then we'll determine the outcome. The outcome will determine, we will be explaining ourselves in all regions.
So you are running away from that. Ekurhuleni, if you think?
No. Our campaign will determine the outcome.
So MK in the province has no confidence in snatching any minister,
no,
even mid-val.
We are confident of snatching Gauteng.
But 2026, we want these municipalities. Gauteng, in terms of numbers, because it will be just terms of numbers in Gauteng. But in terms of snatching and administration, you would need a mid-val or city of Joburg, Ekurhuleni or Tshwane. In Gauteng, it will be a 2029.
Yeah, we are a new party. Remember, people, they start to know about us. They knew about us June 16, December 16.
No, you're punching way above your age as MK. That's why we expect a lot from you.
Yeah, so we are on the ground, we are working, and we are proud of ourselves to say we are the loyalist of the people. We are loyal to the people of South Africa. We are not prepared to take any cent to compromise them.
But you don't want to make a prediction of where your strong base is going to be. And
no, South Africa is a strong base for us because we believe that we belong to the people and the people belong to us. we share the common. We are sharing the common fact. Yeah.
The last question: are you happy with the constitution? There's going to be, even if Floyd said it's going to be in August, but there's going to be a policy conference. It's not elective; it's policy conference. What would be the thing that you would wish for MK to advance if you get that policy conference? We don't know when, well, after 2026 or whatever. But are you happy with the constitution? And if the policy conference is offered to members, what are the things that you would want to advance?
No, I'm happy with MK.
Mm-hmm.
The issues of constitutions and other documents, those are, we're calling it, are just a guiding document.
Okay.
Like a constitution, for instance. When do you use a constitution? A constitution, I believe, is the last resort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are happy with the constitution?
When you go to Australia, it's a capitalist country, no? Mm-hmm. Or maybe in Russia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what? These countries, you won't find a paper in the street. It's because they've got so many workers who are working to clean the street.
Mentality.
So, the issue of a constitution is a last resort.
Okay.
The first thing, our constitution is, it's our mentality.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Mashiane Politically Incorrect, you had everything. That's competent Tony. He answered where he could. He chickened out on a lot of what we asked for him. But it's not the last time. Of course, it's not the last time. We'll meet him on the streets. If we're lucky, he'll come back to the studio. Eitada. All the questions that you were not happy with, you can write them on the comment. Eitada. Let's be glad that he came. Eita.